Hey y'all, this is Allison hanging out in my space to craft, and I'm doing something a little bit different this week. I have a retreat next weekend, so I'm going to spend this week prepping for my retreat, and I thought maybe my process would be helpful to y'all. And it wouldn't have to be for a retreat necessarily. It could be for a specific project that you're working on or something like that. So I thought I'd just show you what I have done. So I often print using my selfie printer, but when I have something like this where I know I'm going to have a whole lot of pictures and they were on a different computer, not in my phone, because these are from 2010, I printed them at Walgreens. Now, there are a couple in here that came out a little bit dark. I'll show you those when we get to them, and I'm going to reprint those on my selfie because I've brightened them up. Everything else came out okay. But I have a huge stack here. It's over 100 pictures, and I think it's about 19 different pages, and that's after I filtered. So I went on my computer, I took a lot of pictures, I rated each of the pictures, and then I only printed, and then I selected the ones that were 3 stars and above, and I filtered down a little bit more from those and printed them. But there's still more filtering to do because in most cases I have more than will fit on a page. And I just print one size when I do this, and then I will cut down the photos to be the size that I would like. So I have this, which is a birthday party. So that's one. We'll do it this way. This is another birthday party, and it's a pool party, and this was a splash party, so there's water, fun-related things. This may or may not make it in, but it's my daughter at the Cockrell Butterfly Museum, and so I may do a page with that. This was on a field trip with her daycare. Just some fun photos there. This goes in with one of these. I think this one. I think it goes with that. This is my daughter doing some selfies. Well, taking photos and her first selfie. So I'm going to sort of do that first selfie. This is a NASA related page. There's a lot of pictures here. Maybe I can do it. I'm going to try and I'm going to have to do a lot of filtering to get that on one page. So that may end up being a 2-page layout. This is beach pictures, and this is one where I need to reprint these. This came out really, really dark, and it looks really gray, so I'm going to try reprinting those, and I'm going to print them a little bit smaller, most likely, so that then I have some variation. And then, so that is probably a 2-page layout. So what I'm going to do is go through the photos and find a sketch for a lot of them. So let's, just so you don't have to see all my photos this way. The other thing I want to do is go through my ready-made pages and see if any of those will work for these layouts. I know I have some birthday ones. We're going to see what works. So let me pull out my stash of those and go through them. And you get the idea of what I've done, though. I've just organized everything. And then if it's 3 pictures, I know I'm going to try and fit that onto a single page layout. This is not critical. So I've got another beachy thing for a 3-page layout. Another birthday party. This was August and September are birthday months for us, as they probably are for everybody. So another birthday party, and it was a pool party, but I don't have pictures of her actually in the pool. This was a school picture, school group. Oh, look, another birthday party. So it just goes on. And I've got July 4th in here as well. And a wedding celebration. So let me go. First step, I don't want to create, I want to be able to use up some of the pages that I have already created. So let me go pull out that stash and see if I feel any of these will work. We'll dispose of those. I'll create page kits for those if there's anything I need to add, and we'll move on. So I'll be back for step number 2. Okay, you guys, I am thrilled. I found so many pre-done or almost done pages that I can use for this stack of pictures. It's going to make things go so much faster on my retreat. Let me show you what I found so far, and I may need to add to these. So we'll see how long this video goes and if I need to do the supplementing in a different video. I do need to get a whole bunch of envelopes though to put these in. I will not do that on screen because it's a little noisy and stuff like that. So I have a few things from Keller's Creations. This is a almost done page. I think I did it in a class, or I bought a kit from them. But it goes like this, and so you can put pictures in here and pictures on here. There's not a title, but there are lots more things that came with it. So I've got this. This is what life is all about. Live well, laugh often. No such thing as a bad day at the beach. That might work. This was a beach day. So I think there's some things on there that will work. And I have these cut aparts for journal boxes or other frames, and I have this. So this Love This Guy is going to go on there because my dad's in these pictures and he's now passed. So I think there's some fun stuff on there. And the only thing I can imagine needing, obviously, ink, and here are the pictures. It was a beach day to celebrate my dad and my mom's birthdays that are a week apart. So I've got some Cheeto pictures and then these, which I'm going to reprint before my thing. And then if I can fit them, I will include these pictures. It wasn't at the beach, it was at Schlitterbahn. This may turn into its own separate page because it was her first time at the Schlitterbahn water park. So I'm just not sure about that. If that will go on here. Depends on how crowded I want the page. So for now, I'm just going to include that in. No, I'm going to pull these out separate just in case. Because I don't do the layouts at this stage. I just try and make sure I have all the things. I will want some enamel dots or sprinkles or something like that. Let's see what I have. Just looking through my Nouveau drops here because maybe that will work. Let's see. I don't have a lot of blue always, and that is probably going to be the wrong blue, but I like that beige. That's not going to be enough. That beige is a maybe because I haven't used it. I don't like that beige. Nope-bitty nope, nope, nope. This is looking like the winner chicken dinner so far. Nope. Nope, nope. Got these 3 little ones, but I don't think that would still be enough. have enough enamel dots, and it's still never enough, strangely. Now, this has some beige and some navy. I may do that. I'm liking them. I don't like that blue. So that's where we're at. There's a few beachier things on here. For some puffy stickers, I might add. And you know what might work is, how about some wooden hearts? That might be a nice addition. Hearts or stars. Okay, I'm going to include those. That is a page kit done. This one is a birthday party. It was a pool party. I don't have ready-made pool party pages, but this has turquoise in it. So I'm liking that for this. And there's red. So I think that the colors will match, and we're just gonna make that work. And it's already got a title on it. All I really need is some photo mats and this kit. This was from Treasure Box, I think, is who does these. And their page kits, it was a monthly subscription kit. You got all the components to create a page, you know, pre-cut and everything. And so it also came with these 2 pieces of cardstock for embellishing. Would I need anything else? I will likely bring a bunch of enamel dots and stuff with me just in case. This is kind of a new set. Maybe I'll include that. I think I'll include that because I could use the red, the yellow, and probably this turquoise. They're not the perfect colors, but I think they might work, unless I wanted to go with this. I've used all the red though. Got the yellow, got the turquoise, and I do have a blue. All right, I'm gonna include those 2. If this means I end up taking a lot more than I do. I don't know if I'm gonna need a whole lot more. I mean, these are all pretty embellished. I can always create a journal box. I might want to add, you know, an extra little party hat or something, and I can always use my scraps for that. So that is the next one. All right, another birthday party. And this was kind of a splash party. And so I have this page with balloons, which is pretty cute. Oh, it looks like I'm missing a string here. We have to do something about that. I wonder where my string went. But I have a whole bunch of pictures, and there's yellow in here, and blue and red, and my daughter's wearing yellow. So perfect. I can make balloons. In fact, I have a new balloon punch that I just bought, so I could add a few more balloons. I obviously need to find a string. I don't know if I have that color string, but I'll figure something out. And then there's some red and gold, and I'll probably want to, do I want to add white to it? I'll have some white with me on my, I always take some white and some black with me on this, so I'll be able to pull that out. I'll have some extra. And so I will put that in that one. Okay, one more birthday party, but this is not a birthday layout, so it's just a perfect day to play, it's called. Another of those kits that came, really cute. And this was a day at the pool. She's in a bathing suit, but I don't have any pictures of in the pool. I just have the party. And then I love this rainbow. So I may end up adding, we'll see. I could just slap the pictures on there and be done. I'm gonna have to finagle a little bit to fit all the pictures that I want. So these are pretty well stuck down, but I'm gonna make it work, y'all. This is my challenge. I'm gonna make this work, and I think those yellow and green and beige enamel dots will work. There's some hedgehogs on here. I may go through my, once I have these done, I may go through my ephemera binders, because I don't want to take those with me, and see what else I have in there that might go add on to this. I may need some letters to add on here somewhere that it's whose birthday it is. Let's see what I have in the way of brown back here. Oh, they're brown and pink, so I don't love that. I do have these small ones. They're not quite the same. I may include them, but they're not quite the same vibe, if you will. Let's see. Those are not the same vibe, and these are not really the same vibe. And they're kind of big, so I'm gonna stick with that unless oh, you know what I could use? Maybe. On those. I'm going to include these. Creative Memories, they're small and they're yellow, so that would, there's not more yellow on here, so I really want a third, like a third spot of some yellow. And let's grab, in case I need to double mat, let's grab some yellow scraps. That's a little dark. Ooh, I could add some yellow glitter. And that's a little bright. Ooh, I like that. Though it's not exactly going to be Or that might work too, though it's not as bright as that. It's a maybe. All right, I've got a few little, and I will have this whole thing with me. I take all my scraps with me. So just to remind me that I want to add a little more yellow when I get to this. All right, and that already has mats on it. So that is one more page kit done. All right, this one I've had for a really long time. It's a beautiful layout. It does not have a, which way does it go? I think it goes this way. It does not have a title on it. I want that front, top. It doesn't matter which way you put the things. You could do it this way. Yeah, maybe, let's call that. I gave a baby shower for a friend at work. Now this was pink and brown, but I'm okay. The tablecloths were black, so these pictures are not critical to it, but it was a really cute and popular, you know, pink and brown at the time. And I do have some old pink and brown paper, but trying to make that work and creating a page, I would rather use something up. But I have some great pictures of the mom-to-be and some friends. So we are going to make this page work. I will definitely need some alphas for the title. And I have a couple of options. I'm going to do black. I could do black with gold. I could do black. I think I have another black. And I've got this. I think I kind of like this for the, even though it's not as elegant a style, but it's cute and it was a baby shower. So I think I'm going to do that. I'll leave these in just in case. And then I may want, the question is, do I want to add more embellishments or do I want to leave it? I wouldn't mind maybe some wordy bits. I'm going to come back to this one and maybe add some more. I'm going to do a little thinking on that and maybe add to that before my trip. Not today, but before my trip. And then the last one is a school day. And the reason I picked this Color Creations layout, got plenty of paper. So there's a 2-page layout, and our friend Treston was wearing kind of this color. There's some brown in there. This was in August. My daughter is wearing a dress that matches it perfectly. We've got 2 pictures of Treston. So I think there's a picture of Granddad, her teacher. So I think this is perfect. It was I think it was a luau party. So that is going to work. And with the Colors Creations, I have this for matting photos. Either one. It looks like I used that. I haven't used that. I haven't used that. And I haven't used, oh, I did use that. But I have the back sides as well as solids. So that is things to use. And then I have these circles. I have a little brown ribbon that came with it. I have some of these might work. The silly, unforgettable, best friends. So that will work. I have some journal boxes to add to this. Who's your favorite? That's Miss Georgia was really one of their favorite teachers. Some more little banners and cute things. I can pull tons of stuff. And then even these letters that I can, which I think are perfect for a kid's page, to do the title. And then I have 2 of these sheets. I'll keep one in here, and then I'll put one, and here's another piece of paper. I'll go ahead and include that. Is this different? No, this is the same. So I'm going to try and use this one up, and I'm going to put these aside for future you know what? And I'm going to go ahead and include this, but I'm hoping to have enough scraps to get another page out of this. Might be a little tight. So that is the last one. So how many page kits did I do? Most of these are 2-page layouts. So I have 1, 2. This one needs some more work, I think. 3, 4, 5, 6 page kits with almost everything I need in those page kits to make a really some really great layouts. Probably a little bit different style than I'm doing right now, but again, these pictures are from 2010, so I'm okay if I'm using slightly old-fashioned layout styles. I may still add some more enamel dots. I may go through my ephemera pack and see if there's anything that jumps out at me that needs to be on these pages, and I'll include those. But that is a great start on my retreat, you guys. So I'm going to call this one here, and the next video I will be building page kits and making use of Christy's Beautiful Life sketches. I've only done, I think, 6 of them so far, so there's lots more sketches for me to reference, and so I'll pick my pictures, pick a layout, and then pick paper based on how many papers I need for that layout. So come back for more. Come back to my space to craft. Thanks a lot, you guys.